Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lido Loca Cruise Show. I am your host, Tony B, your guide into that cruise life. The question at hand today is, you got that big cruise coming up. How much research should you do on your cruise ship before you get onto it? Is it possible that you may over-research your cruise? My wife Jenny and I got into it on the Lido Loca Cruise Podcast on to episode 8. So for today's show, I want to share a little highlight from the podcast with you. We're going to break down this idea of how much you should research before you go on a cruise. And I'll come back at the end and tell you exactly how to get more out of the podcast.
You know, one thing that I'm thankful for is YouTube. We are in that cruise life because of YouTube.
That's right.
And we are in that cruise life because before people go cruising, they like to look at cruising. They like to look at cruise ships. They like to find out about destinations. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that have gone cruising that like to hear people talk about cruising.
That's right.
They like to see other people go cruising. They like to talk about the cruise news. That's where we're living every day. We're here to try to service both of those people. If you've never been on a cruise, I want to make some videos to share with you that's going to help you before you go on a cruise. And if you've been on a cruise 100 times, I want to make some sort of video that's going to entertain you, make you think, maybe help you learn something new, or just entertain you.
Right.
So I love all that. But now, personally, we're going on the NCL breakaway.
Right.
How much research in advance, now that you've cruised several times, like on the first cruise, I know you watched tons of videos on the fantasy, that kind of thing. Where are you at in that now that you've cruised several times? Are you bird dogging the breakaway to find out what that ship's all about?
I think because we've not sailed on NCL before, I have at least been looking at ship tours.
Uh-huh.
You know, just so I don't waste any time when I get on there.
Do you worry that it's going to... So one of my favorite cruise moments for us was the first time that we witnessed the Oasis of the Seas.
Right.
Like one of the first times we got off the elevator and we saw Central Park and we saw how grand that the Oasis of the Seas was, and it took my breath away.
And I just got chills of remembering that moment.
Where I'm at now is I very rarely look at the ships that we're going to go on because I'm afraid that there's a moment of wonder out there like that for me that I'm going to miss. So I'm always wondering, am I doing myself a disservice by not researching the ship before I go on it, or am I messing up that wonderment for me by over research? I wonder what the sweet spot is for that.
I think that so I think I've watched 2 ship tours. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I, like you, I want that moment, you know, and I think we get it. Excuse me. I think we get it every time we get on the ship.
Right.
You know, but I remember that moment when what you're talking about on the Oasis, that we just looked over into Central Park from that glass wall. Right. And it was just like breathtaking.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was honestly amazing. So what advice would you give? So I remember like early on in this thing, I would tell people, oh, go watch as much as you can.
Right.
But I'm on the fence about it now. Like, you've been on enough cruises. Don't you have the skills to go on any ship without seeing it first and figure it out?
Yeah, but I'm just afraid I'm going to miss something and not be able to bring it to people.
Yeah.
I think that's
but if you
why
weren't worrying about like filming or showing the ship, I mean,
I probably wouldn't watch anything.
Yeah, because I really do believe that if you've never been on a cruise before, watch a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
But I feel like after you've gone on a few, you have the skills to understand how to find the muster station, how to find your dining experience, how to find your cabin, those kind of things. I'm almost saying don't watch anything. You want to make sure you make a plan, right? This is one thing that sometimes first-time cruisers, they make a mistake. They don't make a plan, and you can just sit in your cabin all day or just sit out in the atrium all day and miss everything that's happening. So I think when it comes to activities on the cruise or the ports that you're going to, plan that out and do that. But as far as exploring the ship prior to getting on the ship, I'm almost going to say wait until you get on the ship, because that is that's a very fun part for me of that cruise life, is that ship exploration.
Right. And, I've looked at the Breakaway in the past. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked at it recently. With what I do, and I'm booking clients, there are a lot of times that I go and look at things before I place them.
Yeah.
Like on a certain ship or that sort of stuff. So that, like, mine is more research for my job.
Yeah, you do have to kind of do that more than I do. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm going to go spoiler free. I'm going to try not to watch much on the Breakaway until.
Well, and I think that's good for you too, right? Because you enjoy bringing it to people from your own voice,
Right, I like to bring it from my perspective, and so. Yeah, I try not. I'm like that with a lot of like cruise videos and stuff like that. I like to watch. We have friends that are creators and stuff like that. I do my best to watch those videos, but I really try my best to not have my own take. Not to have my own take kind of tainted by somebody else's take.
Right.
Because I want my own unique look at it. It's an interesting.
Because you're unique.
You're unique.
Thank you.
You're unique.
You're unique.
All right, so you heard us break it down. Jenny, of course, because of her job as a travel agent, she has to do another level of research. But me, I'm trying to avoid it. I don't know if that's the best approach. I feel like maybe I do miss out on some stuff, but I don't want to miss out on that feeling of wonderment that I get when I go on these new cruise ships. How do you do it? Let me know. Look, the podcast has its own channel. I'll leave a link to the episode 8 of the podcast, and make sure you subscribe over there, and you can get the audio version on most podcasting platforms. Tony B with the Lido Loca Cruise Show, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.